Aaron Ramsdale to Ibrox. Max Aarons is in the door, but there's talk that Emmanuel Fernandez could be the real defensive juggernaut. Cody Drame's links fizzle out just as Luc de Jong, yes, that Luc de Jong, opens the door to a shock move north. You won't believe what's being lined up behind the scenes. Strap in, it's about to get wild. There's a bit of a rumble at Ibrox as Rangers have kicked off talks to sign a towering 23-year-old centre-back, Emmanuel Fernandez, straight from Peterborough. This comes hot on the heels of Russell Martin giving the nod for the move, clearly keen to shore up the backline with some youthful height and grit. Now, let's set the scene properly. After bringing in Lyle Cameron from Dundee and securing Max Aarons on loan from Bournemouth, who Martin knows well from his Norwich days, Rangers are making their intent clear. This isn't just about depth, it's about building a side that can wrestle that Scottish Premiership title back where it belongs. You know the one. Only the second in 15 years and long overdue. Aarons, mind you, comes in with Premier League experience and a stint in La Liga with Valencia. Martin's buzzing about him, calling him hungry, talented, and driven, and you better believe he's coming to Ibrox not for a quiet shift, but to push hard and bring silverware. But the name that's turning heads now? Emmanuel Fernandez, 6'4", commanding in the air and coming off a solid season with Peterborough, where he clocked 42 appearances and bagged 5 goals. That's no ordinary centre-back, that's a real presence. His current deal runs till 2027, and Norwich was sniffing around back in January, but now it looks like Ibrox could be his new home. And here's where it gets tasty. Peterborough's own chairman has been calling him a colossus, their best defender, and more importantly, a proper organizer on the pitch, a talker. That's the sort of leadership Rangers have lacked at the back in recent campaigns. So Martin's clearly got a plan, and it's not just about plugging holes, it's about building a spine. From Aarons on the right to potentially Fernandez in the middle, the pieces are clicking into place. Now here's the question you need to ask yourself. If Russell Martin is rebuilding the heart of our defense with lads from the English lower leagues, does that show ruthless ambition? Or are we gambling too much on potential when Celtic are going for the finished article? Well, it looks like one potential door has been quietly closed at Ibrox, but not without stirring up some interesting questions. Rangers had their eye on Hull City's Cody Dramer, a pacey and versatile right-back with a solid record in the Championship, with 101 appearances down south and time at clubs like Leeds, Cardiff and Birmingham under his belt. The lad's not short on experience or big stage exposure. You could see how he might have fit in, a player comfortable under pressure, one who could add depth and a bit of urgency out wide. There was some concern about a minor knee knock from last season, but according to Dr. Rajpal Brar, a top sports scientist, it's a non-issue, not even a flicker on the medical radar. That part was clear. But then came the Max Aarons move, and let's be honest, when you've got a right-back with 146 Premier League appearances, Champions League ambitions, and a proven track record with the gaffer at Norwich, it's clear who gets the nod. Aarons isn't just filling a spot, he's raising the standard. So now Drame, who could have been a useful rotational piece, finds himself surplus to requirements. That's football, ruthless, quick, and constantly shifting. Which brings us to the center of defense. Robin Proper might be on his way out, and if that happens, the need for a new leader at the back becomes urgent. We've already seen how shaky things can get when that back line's not drilled and confident. No more passengers, only leaders. But here's the controversy brewing. Should Rangers have gone for both? A bold double move to lock in full-back depth for seasons ahead? Or is this a sign that Martin is putting all his eggs in the Aarons basket too early, potentially leaving us exposed if injuries hit? Would you have taken drama anyway, even just to keep the pressure on Aaron's, or is settling for one top-tier name enough in a squad fighting on multiple fronts? Right, now, here's a transfer whisper that's got a bit of spice to it. And no, it's not just the PSV connection that's got folk talking. Luuk de Jong, the towering Dutch striker with Barcelona on his CV, and a goal-scoring record that's nothing short of prolific, is reportedly open to a move. And guess who's sniffing around? Rangers. With Hamza Igamani heading out the door and Cyril Dessers looking like he might be packing his bags too, the striker situation at Ibrox is moving faster than a Saturday night in Sauchy Hall Street. Russell Martin knows he'll need firepower, not just the kind that scores, but the kind that terrifies defenders and makes rivals sweat. Let's not kid ourselves. De Jong is no prospect. He's the finished article. 33 years old, yes, but he knows how to lead a line, bully defenders, and most importantly, find the net. 18 goals and 12 assists last season for PSV. Not bad for a lad some wrote off when he left Barcelona. And since rejoining PSV, 74 goals in 134 games. That's not a striker, that's a machine. Now, Rangers can't just think about the short term. That's the catch. If De Jong comes in, you still need a younger option, someone to learn, grow, and eventually lead. But in the here and now, with a league title to claw back and Champions League qualifiers looming, can you afford not to have a proven goal-getter like him? Which leads to this. If Rangers sign Luuk de Jong to lead the line, does that show bold ambition? Or is it a gamble bringing in a 33-year-old when we've been crying out for a long-term solution up top? Now, this is the kind of transfer talk that can turn a quiet pre-season into a frenzy. Rangers are reportedly eyeing a sensational move for Aaron Ramsdale, and if it comes off, it could be the most audacious bit of business since we nicked Gascoigne from under Celtic's nose. Let's start with the facts. Ramsdale's only a season removed from being Arsenal's number one, pulling off match-winning performances at the highest level, including a standout display at Anfield that had Mikel Arteta calling him exceptional. And now, he's at Southampton, rotting behind a leaky defense and open to a move. Enter Russell Martin, with Max Aarons already through the door and plenty of excitement around the right-back slot. Ramsdale would be a whole different level. We're talking about a current England international here, not some punt from the lower leagues. If Butland was supposed to be a safe pair of hands, Ramsdale is a full-blown showstopper. But here's the real kicker. Southampton are willing to sanction a loan with an option to buy, despite paying £25 million for him just a year ago. That puts Rangers in a unique position. You wouldn't normally even get in the room for a player like Ramsdale, but this summer, the stars might just be aligning. And let's not forget the state of play between the sticks. Butland's been wobbling, Kelly's had his Europa League moment, but doesn't scream long-term number one. Ramsdale walks in and raises standards across the squad. He's vocal, commanding, and his distribution suits Martin's possession-heavy system to a T. So as far as statements of intent go, this is it. This isn't just about keeping up with Celtic. It's about overtaking them. It's about putting the frighteners into every side that steps onto the Ibrox pitch next season. But here's the question that's bound to split opinions. If Ramsdale arrives and becomes the number one, should Rangers cut ties with Butland altogether, or keep him around as backup, even on big wages, just to ensure depth in a season with European football and a title race?